Hey everyone, welcome to another video of Project 65. I think this is part 3 so far. So, last video, I think you already saw the intro to it. Last time, I tried to install the spark plugs for this vehicle, but alas, they were far too small. But I got the correct ones over there in the back of the vehicle in the trunk area as we prepare to work on this fine masterpiece. If I could just open the hood. There we go. So, things that I got on this thing are as follows. I got the coil pack all wired up, ready to go. I tried to do the spark lead, well, the basic leads themselves, but I didn't get around to that. And at the end of it, I was going to exchange it for this thing. But unfortunately, due to a unknown error on my part, I do not know what type of engine year model this thing is. So, I'm going to be exploring that in my off time, somewhere on this belt. Or maybe somewhere on the back of the block. I don't know. But if you, the people at home watching this, might have an idea of what type of engine block this thing is, please shoot me a comment in the comment section down below. But aside from that, the project tune-up on the 65 is going to be done. It's just with a few final parts that I collected so far. So, the original plan was I was going to do this today. Well, the plan is as follows. The spark coil, or the coil pack, that's wired up. I was going to do the spark leads, which will eventually end up at the spark plugs themselves. But due to a unknown part for this one, I am just going to be doing the coil pack, which it's already done, the spark plugs, and the spark leads to the spark plugs. So, I'm going to be doing that tune-up today, and if you like what you see in this mini video series so far, please don't be hesitant to like and subscribe for more video content like this. And if you, or any mechanical mastermind, value these vehicles as well for the month of October, please send me a spookified emoji in your comment section. I would love to see what you folks have in mind. But for right now, I'm going to be doing the tune-up with the correct spark plug I have, and we will get underway. So again, if you like what you see in today's video, like and subscribe. But now, let's get my hands moving on Project 65. Okay. This is a tool that one of my guys gave me. It's from Mako Tools, and it is a FG44 made in the United States. It is a Gap ADJ model. For all you metric guys, it has metric on this side. For us that have standards, we have this side. My guy told me this is how it operates. So you take your spark plug right here all the way to 0, and this is going to be gapped at 0.50. So you line it up right here, and then if you need to adjust it, just take it right here and possibly like bend it into place like this. And then if you need to bend it back, just hammer it with a hammer or something. But hopefully I can gap these correctly using this tool. By the way, huge shout out to my coworker that allowed me to borrow this. Apparently you can't buy this anywhere except for the Mako Tools truck, and from him I think this is like 10 bucks. So thank you to my guy allowing me to borrow this. Let me grab the tools that I need to pop out all the spark plugs off this car and we can get underway. Just let me go grab my tools real quick. Okay, for tools that you're gonna need are I would say a 5/8 socket, a 3/8 ratchet, 3/8 breaker bar, or if it needs a little bit more persuasion, a 1/2" breaker bar with a 3/8 reducer. So yeah. Oh, and also the readjuster, or the spark depth gauge tool, like we saw earlier. But this spark plug is a Autolite 45 series. So, and the way I don't understand is you have this big box, right? But all these spark plugs come in their own individual boxes. I don't get it, but okay. Okay. Now that we got one of them adjusted, I can do the rest of them for the others. And I'm adjusting them to 0.50. I know it doesn't appear like that, but I'm aiming for like this spot right here, if you can see it clearly. But now that I got one done, I can get the 7 left to go. So let me get all that done and then I will be right back. Okay, it took me a while. As you can see, the spark plugs right there and here. I'm going to focus on the spark plugs first. I see a couple of spider webs in there. Perfect for today. It's a good thing I'm doing this in the daytime. I do not want to be doing this during the nighttime. So let me get this. Let me get the first spark plug in there, and then I will continue on with the rest of them. Here, probably would be better if I took my watch off real quick. And then you always want to hand thread it first. Alright, it took a little bit of finessing, but I got it in there right this time. So I'm going to be doing the rest of them one by one, and then I'm going to move on to the plug leads. I'm going to be doing this very quick, so enjoy the time lapse. Okay, and we're on this side of the engine. Now you may have noticed that I have some tape on each of the valve covers, such as here, and one tape on this. My dad, I will give props to him on this, that he came up with an idea. I'm going to be very transparent right off the bat. These numbers that you see right here, these are not the firing order. But what he has devised, a way so I don't get mixed up, is basically I got this half of the motor done for spark plugs. But tracing the wires back to the cap, I will do this. He comprised of tape on each of the valve covers, as you can see by the green, and numbering them like 1 through 8, depending on the engine. This way, I can put the wire to the plug and then trace it back all the way to the cap, which is right here, remove that wire, and then possibly take the cap with me, and then following the rest of it on the cap here. Like say, like, I know, again, this is not the firing order, but this spark plug right here, this is number 1, so we trace the wire all the way to here, put a 1 on the wire, and a 1 on the cap. And then etc. like 2, following 2 all the way through the loop, and then this is 2. And then 3, follow it, put it right here, and then you know, etc. etc. So by following the spark plug from the lead all the way to the cap, I can write them down. That way I don't mix up the firing order. But again, this is not the firing order. This is just following the leader to the cap. That way I can write down the number for each of the lines, so I don't get confused or mixed up. And then I was going to put like front of the vehicle, like I was going to put F and then probably B in the back there. So this way I won't get confused on which line is which. But aside from that, from the original spark plugs, this is a lot of carbon buildup, which it's not supposed to be like that. Your engine, I mean, I know this is not the exact one, but this is before, this is after a couple miles, so before and after. The way is this: when from the distributor cap through the wire to the top of the spark plug, it fires off a tiny little jolt of electricity into the main combustion chamber. So, you know, probably cylinder head goes down and then comes back up and injects gas into the mix, goes back up, there's an explosion to fire it down, goes back up again to eject the explosion gases out of the engine through the manifold, down through the tailpipe and out of the muffler. That's just basic free automotive science for you. But the main engine has a lot of ways to fire it up, such as what I'm doing is electricity, that's the spark, air, which funnels through here, and fuel. Oil's just basically lubricating the inside of the part so nothing gets chafed and overheated. Again, free automotive science that I'm giving to y'all. So again, just to recap: fuel, air, spark. That's what generates enough power for this engine to turn, provide power to the transmission, through the driveline, to the rear axles on this car. Again, free automotive science. So, now that we addressed all that from air, fuel, and spark, I'm going to be starting on this side of the engine, working my way down, and then hopefully I will be complete enough to start the wires. I probably might not start the wires today, but I will get the spark plugs done, so if in case this thing does need a roll in and out, at least it will be ready. So let me get through this real quick, and we will be right back shortly. Okay, I'm not sure how well you... Oh, okay. I did get all the spark plugs changed out. Despite the last one. As you can see, way down here. Let me just plug that one back in. For the most part. Now, all the spark plugs are removed. I'm going to be taking apart all these tools and putting them back in the toolbox back there. But aside from that, this project is done. I was going to do the plug leads, but unfortunately I don't want to be stuck on this car for very much longer. So I'm going to be calling it quits for today. Project 65 will continue as planned. Just possibly next week we will be messing around with the wires or the plug leads, and then possibly after that probably the distributor cap. Anyway, that's gonna be the video for today. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. If I can remember it, like and subscribe so I don't forget my lines. Alright? But that's all for today. Hopefully, if you're watching this around Halloween, hopefully you have a happy Halloween. Look both ways before you cross the street. And also, if you're in the garage, keep the lights on. Oh, and if you see a car with red headlights or playing something from the 50s or 60s music, run. But anyway, I will catch you later in the next one. Project 65 will continue. Until then, I will see you later.